I've been gone for a few weeks and it's been hard to make content, y'all. But I want to say that I'm still making content. I'm still here. I'm still gonna go strong. Every time I fail in making content, I'm gonna bounce right back up and come back up with a video. But I want to say this has been an interesting month, the month of January. So my income possibilities are expanding drastically from outside consulting. I'm evaluating other options as well and scaling my income streams from elsewhere. This month has been very exciting because we've made, or this channel's made, $1,000 from side hustles on Fiverr and Upwork. So to kind of clarify on that, I'm actually on track to making this much as of the recording of this video. So far, we've earned 900 something dollars, but we do have around another 100 or almost $200 coming in, which should equate to a total of $1,000 from both Fiverr and Upwork. And believe it or not, in my last video, I was talking about how I was doubtful that Fiverr can scale to $360. Well, I was wrong. I was very, very, very wrong. And I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that. So of the $1,000 that I'm gonna be making this month, I'm expecting that 740 will all come from just Fiverr. This is assuming no more sales. This is assuming just that the gigs that I currently have and the gigs that I've already planned out coming in the next few days that from people that I've actually been working with on a repeat basis. And if you look at this from a mathematical growth perspective, right? I was saying it would be great if we hit another 600% growth, but it shocked me. We're actually seeing a 1200% growth. And not only that, I did have the opportunity to make more money, but I actually ended up passing on a few jobs. I'll elaborate more on that later. But yes, it has been an exciting month and we're gonna see how far we can scale this stream as well as scaling our other income streams. So now for a breakdown. Currently, I'm expecting 740 to be made off of Fiverr before the end of this month. I expect there to also be another 360 coming in from my Upwork gig. So this actually we actually grew our income there by a little bit. So we're looking at, just from those two, we're looking at $1,000. And then to add to that as well, I'm actually earning $70 a month now from dividend reinvestment. So I actually put a little bit of money into stocks that pay dividends on a monthly basis. They're called REITs, which stands for Real Estate Investment Trusts. So this currently is paying me $70 every month and it's continuously growing because I actually do dividend reinvestment. So I'm taking the $70, buying the same stocks over again and just letting them grow slowly. So now, just these three streams alone are going to net me over $1,000. And when I started doing the math on that, all of these streams, this $1,000 came from less than 20 hours of work a week. Some weeks I was working way less than 20 hours, like maybe 5-6 hours. And some weeks I was working more. So this is actually good income for most people. And if you're considering doing side hustles, such as Fiverr and Upwork and make money online, you actually can. And this is me telling you, you can. And I'll attach a screenshot of my current earnings, which is, as of the date of recording of this, is 540 net, like before Fiverr fees. So I'll show a screenshot of that and I'll show my Fiverr earnings after that. But yeah, so if you are someone working minimum wage or you have a job but the job doesn't pay you enough and you have a few skill sets that you can sell, Fiverr is the place for you to go. And this is proof of that, because I was skeptical. I did not think it would go this fast, but it is ballooning and the rate of growth is just going up. And I will go more into those points of why I'm seeing this growth. So now, with any side hustle or any business or anything you want to approach, you have to be adaptable. What I mean by that is that when you find a job that is not normally what you do, you adapt to it. You say, okay, I can do this job and I'm getting paid for it, so let me do it. So to give you kind of a funny story, at the beginning of this month, I only had a few gigs, and these gigs are actually starting to expand. So I'm starting to give lessons, and my new customer is the software engineer. This is very funny. So I actually have been helping some software engineers out with their work by giving them lessons on how to improve their coding style, as well as actually just helping them debug sometimes their code. So this is something that I've been doing a lot more of lately, and it's accounting for about 30% of that Fiverr revenue. So if you put that into a numerical perspective, that's about 1/3, which gives us around $200 or so just coming from giving classes. And it's not something that takes too much of my time. So how can you adapt? Adapting is not that easy, but what you do is you start seeing, where am I seeing some traction? Where am I seeing some demand? And when you start seeing that education is somewhere that you're getting demand, then you switch to that and you offer that as a gig. And I did start offering that. And so far I've made 5 sales for just education in the last week alone. Now, if you're doing services and you find that your customers are asking for product X, or service X, and you don't currently provide service X, then adapt. Provide service X, because that is a revenue source that you can chase, that can make you money. And it is not going to be as complicated as writing code for someone. The second thing you can do to improve your side hustles, right? Or whatever you are doing is marketing. So whatever you are pursuing, try to market yourself. So in the last video, I was talking about how terrible my Fiverr thumbnails were, and I said I wasn't really taking it seriously. But after some gigs and some people asking me like, why don't you improve your thumbnail? I decided, okay, let's test it out. And I could not believe it. That ended up converting so many new customers, so many new gigs, that I think that if you want to get yourself out there, you definitely have to market yourself well. So to give you an example, here are my impressions. And if you look at this chart closely, you'll be able to see that ever since I updated my gig photo, you can see that my impressions have been skyrocketing or going up, and my clicks are actually consistent. So I'm actually getting clicks. So when people are seeing my thumbnail, they're clicking on it, and I'm getting at least 1 click a day. This doesn't sound like a lot, but when you are getting 0 clicks a day on average, and some clicks here and there, and getting consistently a click a day and a message or 2 a day, that is a huge drastic difference in growth. And as I start getting more and more of these reviews, we'll see if the Fiverr starts to scale even more. So I actually just hit the requirements to qualify for level 1 Fiverr seller. Let's see if we can actually get to level 1 and see if by getting to level 1, we'll actually start seeing higher quality sales and start seeing more sales. And the third thing that I want to mention whenever you're starting a side hustle, provide excellent customer service. So when people are happy with the service they are getting, when they feel like they're getting every dollar's worth of what they're paying, they're going to be extremely satisfied. This has a very positive impact on whatever side hustle you're doing. If you're providing a service-based side hustle, then providing that great customer service means that they will refer you to their friends, their family, and a negative review as well is going to turn away so many potential buyers. And on something like Fiverr, for example, if you decide to do that, every review counts. 1 bad review will be a whole lot worse than 20 positive. Like, I guess the impact of 1 negative review will be a lot worse than the positive impact of 10 positive reviews. And this is gonna be proven everywhere you go in the industry. Whatever you do, if you find a product on Amazon, there's 10 glowing reviews of how amazing this product is, and 1 person describes how terrible and how this product did not solve their needs and how it ruined their life, it ends up not selling as much as they would like because they got that 1 bad review. Now, 1 bad review out of 600 does not matter, but one bad review out of 10, 20 reviews is not good. So while you're starting out, you definitely have to make sure your customer service is on point. And if you sign a client, even if they're tough and you get that gig, make sure that you're giving them the best customer service, you're accommodating as much as possible. And actually, to give you a story on that, so I signed a data scraping gig. I give good deals because I was just honestly exploring Fiverr and seeing how I can do this. I'm not taking it that seriously. But this man reached out to me, right? He's a repeat customer for my data scraping gig, which is one of my more passive gigs. He wanted this project done, and I told him, you know what? I'll give it to you for a good deal. I said $20 without even looking at the site properly. I was like, this guy's been giving me websites. It's okay, let's accommodate him. And one of the problems that happened was the website turns out to be a lot more complicated for my bot to scrape than what I normally would do. So this is where the non-passive portion of this gig is. I have to make sure that the bot works with these websites, and if it doesn't work, then I have to tweak it. And so I went back to the buyer, and I started telling him, hey, like, this website is a lot more complicated than I expected, and it has a lot of data that you want me to pull. So for me to do this, I cannot do it for the amount we discussed, but because you're a repeat client, I'm giving you this other deal that you got, because he paid for 2 websites, by the way, I should clarify that. So I gave him one of the websites for free, told him I'm gonna have to cancel this gig because I don't think I can scrap this website. It's not worth my time to scrap it for 20. I can scrap it for you for $200. And honestly, I said $200 thinking it would just scare the buyer away, or I was like, I might lose this buyer, they're not gonna be a repeat buyer. But little did I know that this buyer was like, okay, that's understandable. I brought my case straightforward to him, told him like, this is not really worth my time. It's gonna take me forever to even write this bot just for $20. Not really something that I wanna do. So I ended up getting $200 to write this bot, and we just delivered this gig as of this morning, helping me secure that gig money into my Fiverr earnings. So now we're looking at positive returns for this month. But yeah, this took a lot longer than expected. I was hoping to get it done last week, but due to into issues with some data. We ended up postponing it till this week, but we got it delivered, and it was my largest sale to date of $225 on Fiverr. Now you might be wondering what was the point of that story. The point of that story was I gave the buyer a free gig. I was like, listen, you can cancel. Here's the data from this other website that I scrapped. It's free for you. But yeah, if you want to continue, this is how much I have to charge, because it's not worth my time otherwise. But just to make it up for you, I'm giving you this website for free. So that all ended up working in my favor because of the customer service I provided, right? Because it was such a good customer service, the buyer was like, all right, he's trying to be as accommodating as possible. He's giving me this website for free. He's not really trying to like gyp me or anything. And because of that, I'm gonna do this gig, and now we got the money. So yeah, this is the exciting part about providing good customer service in whatever side hustle you do, especially if it's a service-based side hustle. The fourth thing, you're gonna have to sacrifice time. And as someone who's side hustling, right, when you have these main streams of income, such as your job, my main contract, all of these other things that I'm doing, trying to build side income, I have to sacrifice time because I need money to be able to invest in this business and make this business profitable, right? But I also need to experiment and make more money using side hustles, because getting more of these large contracts is not physically possible because they take a lot of hours. Not the most amount of hours, but they do take time. So, and they're not that easy to find, right? Like, not everybody's trying to pay you 6 figures to develop for them as a contractor. This is something that you learn if you're pursuing the software consulting route. There are people who will, but not everybody, of course. So that is something that I have to sacrifice. I ended up sacrificing a lot of time. That impacts my videos because there's only so many hours in the day, and I want to avoid burnout, right? Me avoiding burnout is very, very important in this journey because we're here for the long haul, not for the short haul. But you will have to sacrifice time. Now, it all depends on how hungry and greedy you are and how much money you want to make for yourself and how much you want to improve your lifestyle. And that's the amount of time you're going to have to sacrifice. The more you sacrifice, the more progress you'll make. Even on YouTube, we finally hit 200 subscribers, 202 actually. And I want to thank everybody who subscribed recently. This has been a great milestone for me. I want to grow this channel slowly. But as everything in life, it's not a race. We're here for the long haul. I'm trying to build this business for the long term. So definitely make sure that you are willing to sacrifice your time, work hard, but also balance it out, right? Balance it out. You can't be going 100 miles an hour all the time, because if you do that, you're just going to end up stopping before you even get to the gas station to recharge and refill your car. So the number 5 thing is you don't need to accept every job. Just because someone comes knocking at your door with some money, trying to ask you to work for them, does not mean that you have to accept that job. I'll say before you accept a job, evaluate it properly. Make sure the requirements are easy to meet or can be doable, and the financial reward for doing this task makes sense. So if someone comes at you with, hey, I want you to do this for me, but I'll give you $500, you can tell them no, straight up. If the work is more than you're willing to handle or more than you're willing to deal, you can just straight up tell them no. And this is something that I highly urge you and recommend you do. And there's many reasons for that. If I say yes to every single client that I get, I won't be able to make sure that every single one is happy. And some tasks are just too large, and the amount of time spent on them equates to over 40 hours for $500. That is not worth it. So to give you an example on that, right? A big job that's $500 that takes me a week to do is good. Maybe, well, it's never gonna be really good to do that, but a job like that means good money. But also some of the disadvantages if you're on somewhere like Fiverr is it's only also one review. Instead, if you broke that down to 10, 20 smaller jobs that pay you less and end up equaling the same amount of time, but with more reviews, that is gonna actually help you more long-term on Fiverr than doing this short-term. Because if you do a lot of mini jobs and you accomplish those and you get those done really, really fast, that means you can accumulate those reviews really, really fast. And that means those top spenders that come to Fiverr, you'll be in the top of their list when they come to shop at Fiverr. And they'll be willing to pay you what you deserve for some of those jobs. I wanna say it's also risky to accept every job. Some of the reasons it's risky is because if this person's rude the first 5-6 minutes you're talking to me, that means that when I'm working with them, they're gonna do a whole bunch of issues. They're gonna very easily leave me a bad review. So I tend to avoid anybody who comes in my inbox being a little rude or coming in as a little snotty, as in like, hey, I'm gonna pay $300 and I want you to do this, like 15 million things listed on that list. Those people I tend to shy away from. I don't care if they're paying me. If you're coming at me with that hostile outlook, then I don't want to work with you. And growing too fast on Fiverr by accepting every job you get might actually end up hurting you, because one, you won't be able to ensure that quality of service is met. Two, slow, stable growth is something that you should focus on when doing things like Fiverr and others. So sometimes these jobs might pay you a lot in one go, but if you cannot create a formula of success where you're constantly repeating the same process, it's a one-time job, but then that's it. Whenever you're starting a side hustle, make sure that you go slow and stable, right? It's not a race. It's about getting there and making sure a side hustle can pay us on the long term, and make sure that the side hustle is something that is sustainable and is something repeatable, right? Because if you can make sure it's sustainable and repeatable, that means you can keep chasing it. You can always rely on it. You can plan with that income in mind. And for that reason, I'll say be slow in growing your Fiverr. So fast growth is risky. You could end up providing a bad quality. You could end up not satisfying your customers. You could end up being burnt out because you're trying to grow so fast. So what is next for me now, right? So I've got this hustle working. I've got $1,000 coming in from side hustles. Now what is my next step? So my next step now, and for the next few videos that I'll be making, is to explore some new side hustles. Hopefully this will be one of the very few last times you'll hear about Fiverr, unless some major milestones are met, such as hitting my level 1 level on Fiverr seller, or hitting my level 2, or making thousands and thousands of dollars. Those are the only next few times you'll hear about Fiverr and Upwork. Now the focus will be more on passive income side hustles. One of these passive income side hustles I'm looking into is Turo. Others are real estate, and also looking into acquisition of software as a service, or as well as building my own services to sell. There's a wide variety and a wide gamut of stuff that I could be doing. And now the next step is to actually get there. And if you're interested though in a video on how to actually specifically grow, how to actually make your thumbnail, how to attract buyers, how to talk to buyers on Fiverr, let me know in the comments below and I can make a video about that. But if I don't get any demand for it, then I will not make any videos about it. All right, awesome. Oh, also, yeah, sorry I haven't been making videos the last 2 weeks. We're hopefully gonna be sticking to making a lot more videos, and I'm also actually growing my own team. So I'm bringing in 2 people to help me with this business. One person is gonna help me with the editing and creating the content. The other individual is gonna actually help me do the research and actually go ahead and proceed with some of these passive and side hustles that I'll be pursuing on this channel. So thank you for watching, and as usual, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification button. And please come back for more of my videos. All right, y'all. Well, y'all have a good one, and it was a pleasure making this video for you. But seriously, y'all, don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, leave a comment below. What did you think of this video? Do you want to see more of my content like this? You like my new haircut? No, I'm kidding, but hey, y'all. All right, I'll see y'all next time. Peace.